Hello. Welcome to the news. This week, it's all about aircraft, man. And then we'll have a chat about Sim Update 7 in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. So I am joined once again by the infamous co-host, Gibbo Ireland. Gibbo, top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning, Murph. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. So this week, it's all about aircraft. And it's funny because I saw a comment, Microsoft Airport Simulator, because there's nothing but airports. But now we have a lot of news about aircraft. Looking forward to this. So starting off, this thing here, the first cousin of the British Bulldog. Do you remember wrestling? The good old days? Davy Boy Smith, the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldog, and the... Yeah. Anyway, this is the Scottish Bulldog. And, it's just released by Blackbox Simulations. These guys brought us the L19 Bird Dog and also the BN2 Islander. And they're so much fun to fly. Blackbox have this ability of just making nice planes that are really nice to fly. So what can you tell us about this, Gibbo?
Yeah, Murph, the Scottish Aviation Bulldog, of course, is an RAF two-seater trainer aircraft. And this comes with two models, the T1 and the SK61 variants, which are most used in the UK and Sweden, respectively. Each variant does come with a different panel layout, optional Garmin GPS, and 10 real-world civil and military liveries. Developer says that the Bulldog has been made with accuracy in mind, so will come with a fully aerobatic flight model. And as you say, it's available now from Blackbox Simulation. I think we'll leave the link in the description below, and it's priced at €25.
Nice. Steam gauges for the win as well. And this aircraft is interesting because this came before the Grob tutor. So there's great kind of history to this aircraft as well. And I know quite a number of people in our own community have actually flown this aircraft. So can't wait to get a hold of this. So moving on, we have this thing. This glorious thing. This here is the P51 Mustang. And it's from Aeroplane Heaven. Currently in development for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now you might be saying, don't we have a lot of P51s already? Yes, we do. But this would be the quintessential third-party offering. Gibbo, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Murph, this is a legendary American warbird, the P51D Mustang, and here we have a sneak peek of the Mustang actually in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Nice.
Airplane Heaven, of course, brought us the Spitfire, the Cessna 140, and the Electra, of course. And they tell us that this P51 will come with 15 liveries, both military and civilian options. And it'll come also with a few exclusive external features, such as additional fuel tanks under the wings, and even weapons. Within the cockpit, there's a lots of extras as well, and there'll be a hidden options switch panel, which will allow you choose between pilot models, engine covers, or radio units. So there's still a lot of work to do here. It's work in progress for sure, but it does seem to closely follow Airplane's work on the Spitfire, both in terms of features and visuals. So should be an exciting one to watch.
I mean, look at that wing. They go into so much detail, showing the weapons and the ammunition. It's just like, bring out the DC-3 already, but I can't wait for this. This looks fantastic. So moving on, this thing, the Grumman, the F4F4, the F4F-4. This thing looks fantastic. In development by Got Gravel, who are part of the Got Friends, the triumvirate of amazing developers all working together, offering us another World War II vintage aircraft. It looks fantastic. What can you tell us?
Grumman F4F4. I got it right. Wildcat. So yeah, with this one, Got Friends have said that they have had a very good last few weeks in terms of development, with significant advancements made across the team, and it's in the Wildcat's development. What you can see here, of course, is some great features and how they're coming along, such as the landing gear animation, which looks fantastic.
Look at that.
Yeah, they also have a fully functional hydraulic flap system, catapult and tail hook arrestor control that has an included tablet in it. And what's really interesting here, Murph, is because of that tablet, it'll allow Xbox pilots to execute carrier operations with the Wildcat, since there's no need for an external app.
The simulated horror, the console pilots landing on aircraft carriers. That's fantastic, though. And I suppose, look, when it comes to all these vintage aircraft that are very popular now in Microsoft Flight Sim, What's your take on them, Gibbo? I mean, like, do you enjoy maybe the historical references that they make, or is it purely that's just a weird and wonderful looking aircraft? I mean, do you see yourself flying a lot of these, or you're just happier to have them in the sim?
There's so many now, isn't there? Yeah, no, I mean, each to their own, and I appreciate the Warbirds, and I like to have a couple in my collection, but they're not really for me. I think the Spit is probably my go-to Warbird if I want to fly along, if there's Warbird flying in a certain live stream. But they do take a bit of getting used to wobble pumps and I don't know what to play with. So what about you? What's your favorite Warbird? Can you tell us?
Well, the wobble pump is my favorite of all pump. That, and I think the radiator bleed key. Did you ever hear a key called it? Fantastic stuff. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting discussion point. And this is for everyone who's watching. With the Warbirds coming in, or the military or combat aircraft coming into a civilian flight sim, what's your take on that? I mean, I personally, I love them. I mean, I think my favorite of all World War II fighter. It's such a close call between the P51 and the Spitfire. Then you move on to some of the larger aircraft, the transport aircraft, the bombers. There's some amazing offerings in the pipeline to be developed. But I think it's interesting, let us know in the section below what you guys think. I mean, would you prefer to see more civilian type aircraft, or you're happy with the mix of, the military Warbirds, all these beautiful vintage? Because the history on these, it's such an early snapshot. Like, military aircraft have had such an impact on the entire lifespan of the evolution of aircraft that we have today. And even the way the landing gear on this particular model that we can see doing the thing, these were all groundbreaking discoveries and innovations at the time. So I mean, look, I'm super excited to see them. The more the better, man. And that's kind of where I'm at. But moving on, this is huge news. This is almost as big as the time they released Kerry Airport on a global scale. This one here, A2A, they've been to the forums recently, and they're saying that the last major roadblock has now been removed, and they're making fantastic progress developing aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Gibbo, what can you tell us?
Indeed, Murph. Scott Gentile, who calls himself the A2A General. That's a great title. I want one of those. He has told us that, yes, all major blocks are cleared for the team to properly plan for Microsoft Flight Sim development. Things will start with what you see on screen, the Comanche 250. Of course, the screenshots are from P3D nonetheless. But this will be the first aircraft that comes to Microsoft Flight Simulator. So work has already started, and they have warned that it might take a little bit of time because it is their very first aircraft, but it will, of course, come with Accusim, which I know a ton of people are excited about. Accusim airplanes coming from A2A. So Murph, I know you've got a bit more on this than I. What's so exciting about Accusim?
The whole idea, the Comanche was probably one of the first A2A aircraft I spent so much time in. And I remember flying it back in FSX, and I had the Orbex True Earth packs for like New Zealand, and I flew all over the South Island of this thing. Essentially, what Accusim does, it adds the element of life. It breathes life into the aircraft. It makes it your own. And you might be saying, huh? Bear with me. So essentially, you can have a full maintenance suite with your aircraft. It'll remember, structural damage. It'll know if you're, running low on oil. It'll know, if there's any issues with the engine or with the spark plugs. It remembers all of these things. It's similar to what we have with Just Flight with the state saving. But Accusim takes it a stage further, whereby one element offers the maintenance side, but then it also goes into a living, breathing aircraft. And this is kind of what, to me anyway, this is what separates A2A from a lot of other developers. Scott tends to buy, or at least have access to, the aircraft that they include with Accusim. And wow, when it goes down to like the, wait for it, minutiae, there's one for this week. When it comes down to all these details, the most smallest detail, so much so that the panel shaking or vibrating is kind of result, or it is a result of how much RPM is applied to the engine. I mean, that's the detail they get into. Wow. While at the same time making it user-friendly and intuitive to be able to fly the plane. I mean, they'll still work with your Control E if you don't want to go through all the procedures. But I'm so excited for this. I think there's huge expectations of what A2A will bring into Microsoft Flight Sim. they've already had a bit of an impact already with the Spitfires on the Reno side. They were helping out with the development there, but I am super excited. A2A have a massive fleet of aircraft on P3D and FSX, so I can't wait to see more of these. Excellent. Fantastic stuff. So moving on, the Cessna Bobcat Goldweight. Plane. No, it's not. But it is the Cessna Bobcat T50. This is interesting. There's a story behind this one, Gibbo.
Yeah, this definitely is an interesting one, Murph. The story here starts with Milviz, who, of course, we spoke about last week with their upcoming ATR 72-600. Just a couple of weeks ago in mid-November, Milviz issued a post where they said, "We are looking to give away our original T50 Bobcat 3D models and textures to anyone that wants to do something with it for Microsoft Flight Sim." I haven't seen that before. That's quite unusual.
Awfully nice.
Yeah, the T50 Bobcat is, of course, a vintage twin-engine trainer from the World War II era that bridged the gap between single-engine planes and the larger multi-engined aircraft. And the news here is that Parallel 42, who are most known in the world of Microsoft Flight Sim for the Sky Park, have been selected. So Parallel 42 are already working on their first aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim, the Freedom Fox. So hopefully they'll finish work on that first before they move their full focus to the Bobcat. But yeah, very interesting that one dev would just give their stuff away, huh? Have you seen that before?
I don't think so. Like, I remember back in X-Plane, there was, I think Milviz were involved in a project and they eventually released it to another developer to kind of see it through. But it is kind of good news because I'm super excited to see what Parallel 42 can do with an aircraft. I mean, the Sky Park, have you seen a finer UI? You know, the tablet implementation, the graphics. I mean, it looks fantastic. There's so much polish on that product. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can actually bring to aircraft development and, you know, when it comes to the details from the aesthetics, but also be interesting to see what they can do on the system side. Really looking forward to this one. And it's interesting, you know, I mean, if a developer just doesn't have, maybe it's to do with, maybe they don't have the passion to develop such an aircraft at a certain time. I think it's kind of commendable. Like, I mean, it's like, look, hey, we've brought it this far. We've no real interest. And rather than just destroying the project to offer it out to someone, I think that's pretty cool.
It's awesome, yeah.
It's almost emotional, man. But no, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think in our last bit of news, which is fresh off the shelf tonight, this thing, the PMDG Douglas DC-6 is now available on the official marketplace, which means it's available to purchase for the Xbox consoles, the Series S and X. Now, we've just started a Monday night adventure with the DC-6 every Monday at 2000 Zulu time on Twitch, and where we're flying it up around the Northwest Passage. This is great for some of our viewers who are, you know, they have the Xbox and they can't fly the thing. Now they can. Apart from this coming out on the marketplace, which in itself that's a big development, the fact that they've now got this to work on the console, this is huge news, because the sim is now completely multi-platform. It's on the PC and it's now on the console. And when you have an aircraft of this level of fidelity and systems and scratching your head moments thinking, how does this thing work? To have it on the Xbox, I am super excited about this. I mean, I wonder what some of the barriers were. I wonder how much time they had to spend to make it work. But I'm super excited to see
it. With a controller as well, Murph. All those buttons and dials and gauges. How would that work? So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it right after this. By the way, Murph, it is priced at €55 for anybody looking to pick this up. And
again, like, Xbox users would be like, hey, that's the price of a game. This is a game changer. This level of aircraft, it's the, you know, the difference between the default aircraft, and which there's nothing wrong with the default aircraft. But when you compare something like this to the default, it's day and night in the difference. So this is huge news. So excited. So yeah, that's it for our news. We're going to leave you now with a little bit of a discussion. Sim Update 7, the Reno races and Game of the Year edition. Gibbo, what did you make of it all?
Yeah, Murph. Overall, I can't complain about the update. At least a faster internet connection always helps. Just saying. No, I spent a bit of time after I had finally installed it, working on the assistant settings in particular, getting everything back to the way it was. It does seem as though perhaps your control profile settings are the ones that get backed up in the cloud, and maybe not the rest of your sim settings. So I don't know how you feel about that, but um, I had the typical issues that I think some others had, as far as your mouse not working with the world map, rudders weren't working, and even my reverse thrust wasn't working. But nothing I couldn't overcome, thankfully, by playing with my profile. So overall, I'm pleased. Everything's back up and running. I suppose it is a shame for me though, because every time there is a sim update, it's kind of mixed with a bit of excitement and a bit of dread. Will things be okay afterward or not? And the Reno air races, haven't really played a huge amount with them. I have the full pack installed, but what I've seen so far seems fun, although I'm not sure if I'll use it long term. What about you? What was your experience?
Well, it's definitely a content-rich add-on update patch, essentially. I mean, that's what it is. So an official, what's the word? Add-on DLC? We'll go with DLC, which it being the official Reno air races. I mean, that thing is fantastic. It's an entire new element to your flight simulation platform, whereby it's essentially building in either another element of simulation or even just a game within your sim, whereby you can jump up around and go flying and go racing. The number of aircraft is very, very interesting. I'm happy enough at the level of detail that they went into, considering when they say there are 10 different P51s, there are 10 different T6s. They're all different variants. It's not just different paint schemes. They've actually changed a lot of the
characteristics.
The panels are different and all that. I think there's a lot of opportunities that were missed initially when with Reno air races. If you want to have a race, you can't control what server or what room, or you know what I mean. You can't fly with your friends.
Yeah.
What? Who came up with this plan? And now, in fairness to Asobo, Microsoft has said yes, no, we're going to work on that and fix it up. I just think it was a missed opportunity. Outside of that, when it came to the Game of the Year edition, and they've added in all the new free aircraft, that's pretty super. And I was really kind of skeptical when it came to the PC6 Porter, because I was like, hang on, Milvis have an excellent one in there. I still think the one that Asobo built, it is good. It's the circuit breakers are all modeled. You can't open the windows, but it's good, and it has different variants already in there. It has the float plane version, it has the Tundra, and it also includes a steam gauge cockpit, which is a lot of fun. The F-18 is there, which looks and sounds amazing. There is an intermittent kind of a sound bug thing, but I think I think most people will agree our simulator has been transformed, especially from multiplayer. Without getting into the drama of planes disappearing, #22, they're working on that. But I think now when you're in a multiplayer session, the sounds of the sim have completely changed. You can hear jets from miles away, thundering past. I think it's a very new kind of experience, and I like it. When it comes to Sim Update 7, I feel like I'm Bill Murray on Groundhog Day, because every time I turn on the machine, I need to turn all them off again. Turn them all off again. And then when I go back tomorrow, turn them off again. So
what are you talking about? Assistant stuff?
Okay. Remove the hood and do all this. Look, it's not the end of the world. There are workarounds for it. I went through it there last Friday. That video is over on Twitch as well if you want to check it out. How to fix the mouse, how to do this and that. It'll be patched, it'll be updated. So overall, I'm very happy with it. I love the new weather feature. They've kind of changed the weather quite a bit. It's a game changer, because you have all this amazing kind of METAR reports. More data is getting pulled in from the METARs, and it's nice. It's brilliant. And in terms of an update goes, for me, it's been quite positive. Now, it's not to say it hasn't come with a couple of more. How did that happen? But the good news is, as they mentioned in the dev Q&A, well, there's a huge focus going into the next sim update. So in January, we can expect a world update that's going to feature Australia, and then and then after Australia, in February sometime, we should be looking at Sim Update 8. And I think Jorg and Martial, they're kind of aiming towards Sim Update 8 is going to focus on squashing bugs, in particular the multiplayer bug that we're seeing. So Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what the sim is going to be able to do if they just focus for 2 months just on eliminating bugs. That should, in theory, get us to some very, very special places with the sim early next year. So, yeah, it's all systems go, man. It's been a week, and even next week there's even more aircraft coming into the fold. So busy times coming up to Christmas. It's almost like there's a race from developers to get their products out there. So really looking forward to it, dude.
Yeah, me too. No, I think focus on bugs is what's needed right now. I think Jorgen made the right call there. So late February for Sim Update 8. Can't wait.
Super. Right, that's it. It's time now to go and work on a different project. We'll stay right here until next week. But enjoy the rest of your week. Many thanks for tuning in. Hope you walked away feeling you now have more information about what we've discussed. And if not, well, sure, we tried. Hey, we did this in one take. I didn't make a single mistake yet. Yes!
There's still a few minutes to go, is there?
Yes. So until then, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.